Hello children, happy to see you again. This is Dakshayani handling biology from Bhadasnath Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are seeing 11th standard first lesson living world in botany, and we are discussing about the bacteria, and in this session we are going to discuss about the two types of bacteria, that is gram positive and gram negative and its life processes. What is gram positive and gram negative? Let us see. So, gram staining procedure, it is an important question children, 5 mark. It is in the presence of a flow chart, and it is very easy to listen also, to study also, and first we are going to study how it is prepared and why it is said to be gram, because it was found by the person Christian Gram. What was the name of the person? Christian Gram. So, based on the color of the stain, we can classify them into gram positive and gram negative. So, first let us see how the bacterium, that is how we can stain the procedure, staining procedure. First one, we have to prepare a smear. What is a smear children? Smear is nothing. In the bacterium, we are adding some distilled water, then it becomes a smear. Bacterial smear is taken and a slide, and later we are rinsing it with water. Later we are adding crystal violet to it. Crystal violet is a stain, violet color, and we are adding to it, and after few seconds we are rinsing it again with the water, and later we are adding iodine to it. We are treating again with the iodine, and after few seconds and we are rinsing with it water, and later we are adding ethanol, that is 95% of alcohol or acetone to it, and after few seconds we are rinsing and we are counter staining with the safranin. What is it? Safranin. And finally we are going to observe the color, right? First, the gram positive bacterium retain the color of the crystal violet. So, violet color stains we say it as gram positive, but the gram negative bacterium loses its crystal violet color and retains the color of the safranin, like this. So, this is the staining procedure in bacterium. It is an important question children, and now we are going to study the difference between the gram positive and gram negative bacteria. In the book it is given as a tabular column children. So, let us study with the help of the diagram. This is a gram positive bacterium and this is a gram negative bacterium. So, first we can see it is thick in layer. Gram positive is thick. Cell wall is thick, and here the cell wall is very thin, and here we can say the cell membrane, cell wall is very rigid. Rigid means what? Very strong due to the presence of peptidoglycan. But here peptidoglycan is less in number, and here it is elastic in nature due to the presence of lipopolysaccharide and lipoprotein. So, what is the main difference? It is thick and thin. Here it is rigid due to the presence of peptidoglycan, and it is elastic due to the presence of lipoproteins, and here 80% of the cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. There only 12%, nearly hardly 12% of peptidoglycan is present. And by seeing the picture, what are all the examples, what are the few differences we can see children? Here teichoic acid is present, here teichoic acid is absent, and here the cell membrane is made up of phospholipids, and here also it is made up of phospholipids, and here the lipoprotein content here is very less, and lipoprotein content is very high. Here lipopolysaccharide is absent. Lipopolysaccharide is absent, but here lipopolysaccharide is present. Here the structure is complex, and here the structure is simple. So, these are all the main difference. So, let us recall children. Gram positive bacteria cell wall is thick, and here it is thin. Here peptidoglycan is present here. So, the cell wall is rigid. Here it is elastic, and here lipopolysaccharide is absent, lipopolysaccharide is present, lipoprotein is very low in content, and here lipoprotein is more, right? And apart from this, here outer membrane, here the outer membrane is present, outer membrane is not present. Teichoic acid is present here and teichoic acid is absent. The gram positive bacteria is complex in nature, gram negative bacteria is very simple. So these are all the main difference, children. It is an important question also. So now in the box, in the small box, it is given, children, about the magnetosomes. Just underline it. This is the structure of the Aquaspirillum magnetotacticum. It is a bacterium and it is said to be, it contains 40 to 50 particles of magnetite. Magnetite, that is Fe3O4 magnetite, and it helps to locate the nutrient rich sediments. This bacteria is economically useful for us. With the help of this we can find where are the sediments found here, right, since it contains more iron in it. That is 40 to 50 particles of magnetite. What is the name of the bacterium, children? Aquaspirillum magnetotacticum. And now we are going to study the life processes. Two life processes we are going to discuss in this session, children. One is a respiration and another one is a nutrition. So based on their respiration, they are classified into two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. What is autotrophic? We have already discussed. Autotrophic means they can synthesize their own food. Heterotrophic means they have to depend on other. So first we are going to study about the respiration, that is aerobic. Aerobic means they require oxygen for the respiration. So they cannot grow without oxygen. So such microbes, such bacteria, we call it as aerobic. Example, Streptococcus. Example, Streptococcus. Streptococcus is filament shaped, right? It is arranged in the form of a filament, in the form of a chain. And obligate aerobes. What do you mean by obligate, children? They cannot survive without oxygen, right? Such organisms we call it as obligate. Example, Micrococcus. Take a notebook, children, write out the scientific name of all the bacterium involved in this. From this important questions may come. And next we are going to study about the anaerobic respiration. What do you mean by anaerobic? It does not involve oxygen. So which does not use oxygen, we say it as anaerobic. The example for this is Clostridium. Clostridium botulinum, which causes food poisoning. Clostridium tetani, which causes tetanus, right? So Clostridium is the best example for anaerobic bacterium. And another one is a facultative anaerobes. That is, they do not they can live without oxygen or they can live with oxygen also. Such microbes, such bacterium, we say it as facultative anaerobes. Example, you see, children, they grow either using oxygen or they can live anaerobic also. Example, E. coli. E. coli, full name is Escherichia coli. It is present in our intestine. E. coli bacterium. And capnophilic bacterium. What is capnophilic? It requires carbon dioxide for its growth. Example, Campylobacter. So I will ask you some questions regarding this, children. Just answer my question. Give an example for anaerobic bacterium. What is answer? Yes, very good. Clostridium. Clostridium is the example. And facultative bacterium, E. coli. Yes, very good. And now we are going to study about the nutrition. I told you there are two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. So first we are going to discuss about their autotrophic. Autotrophic means they can synthesize their own food. They are classified into two types, children, photolithotrophs and photoorganotrophs. What do you mean by photo? Photo means light, litho means under earth, right? So some organisms, they depend on with the help of the light and the soil particles, they can synthesize their own food. So they are said to be photolithotrophs. And here mostly the hydrogen donor is a inorganic substances. Mostly which gives the hydrogen is inorganic in nature. So based on this, it is classified into two types. One is a green sulfur bacteria, because sulfur is present in the soil, right? And purple sulfur bacteria. The main two difference here, children, the hydrogen donor is H2S, that is dihydrogen sulfide. Dihydrogen sulfide is a donor, and here which is a donor? Thiosulfide, that is S2O3. Just write in your book, children, it is not given in your book. S2O3. And here what pigment is present? Bacterioviridin pigment is present, and here bacteriochlorophyll is present. The example for green sulfur bacteria is chlorobium. This is the image of the chlorobium bacteria, and the example of purple sulfur bacterium is chromatium. This is the image of chromatium. So, I will ask you some question, children. What is the pigment present in chlorobium? Yes, very good. Bacterioviridin. Yes, very good. And now autotrophic. Autotrophic, we know they can synthesize their own food. And what is another category? First we discussed about the photolithotrophs, and now we are going to study about the photoorganotrophs. That is with the help of light and the organic matters. Okay, they can synthesize their own food, and here which is a hydrogen donor is the organic acid or ethanol. Example for this is Rhodospirillum, spiral shaped bacteria, Rhodospirillum. And now next about the chemotrophic. Right, chemotrophic means they can synthesize their food with the help of organic as well as the inorganic substances. So, they can synthesize their food from organic and inorganic substances. It is classified into chemolithotrophs. What do you mean by lithotrophs, children? Inorganic. Organotrophs, they synthesize the organic. Same, listen children, autotrophic, photolithotrophic, photoorganotrophic. Likewise, chemotrophic, chemolithotrophic and chemoorganotrophic. So, first you are going to study about 4 examples for chemolithotrophs. That's first example is sulfur bacteria and iron bacteria. Sulfur bacteria, just write down the spelling, children, correctly. Thiobacillus thiooxidans. Just note down the spelling. Thiobacillus thiooxidans, and iron bacteria Ferrobacillus ferroxidans. Ferrobacillus ferroxidans. And what are the next two examples? So, let us see chemoautotrophic, chemolithotrophs, right. So, hydrogen bacterium, right. Example is Hydrogenomonas, and nitrifying bacterium Ferrobacillus ferroxidans. So, this is the image of it, children. So, what are the things we discussed about the sulfur bacteria, iron bacteria, hydrogen bacteria and nitrifying bacteria. These 4 comes under the chemolithotrophic, right. So, children, next in the chemotrophs, another type is chemoorganotrophs. Chemoorganotrophs, they depend on the organic compounds. We discussed about the chemolithotrophs, which depends on the inorganic compounds. They are of 3 types. One is a methane bacterium, acetic acid bacterium and lactic acid bacterium, which is present in the organic acids, right. Here Methanococcus, example, this is an image of the Methanococcus bacteria, Methanobacterium, Acetobacter, present in the acetic acid, and Lactobacillus, which is responsible for the curd formation, lactic acid bacteria. So, these 3 comes under the chemoorganotrophs. And next topic of nutrition is, first we have discussed about the autotrophs, and now we are going to discuss about the heterotrophic bacterium. Heterotrophic means what, children? They depend on the other organisms for their food. So, based on this we can classify them as parasite. Parasite means they live on they depend on the living organisms, we call it as parasite. The example is Mycobacterium. Mycobacterium tuberculi, which causes tuberculosis. Right. And saprophytes. Saprophytes means they depend on the dead organisms, right. Example Bacillus mycoides. And symbiotic. What do you mean by symbiotic, children? Mutual relationship, right. Some bacteria lives in mutual relationship with the roots, and they synthesize the nitrogen required by the plant and it provides to the plant. Example, rhizobium we can see in the roots of the leguminous plants, that is the pea plants. This ball like structures is a rhizobium bacteria which is attached to the roots of the leguminous plants. They helps in nitrogen fixation, right? They helps in providing the sufficient amount of nitrogen to the plants. So this is about the heterotrophic. So what are the topics we discussed, children? Nutrition is two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. In auto we have discussed about the photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs, right? And in this itself we have discussed about the lithotrophs and organotrophs. So with this the life processes in bacteria comes to an end, children. We have discussed about the staining procedure, difference between the gram negative and gram positive bacteria and the life processes such as respiration. What are the two types of respiration? Aerobic and anaerobic, and about the nutrition, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic in this session. So go through the subject material attached with this in the description, children. So make sure and make clear to understand the topic well, right? Thank you, children. Have a nice day.